There it is.
This is bad news.
My God.
Right now. Anything could happen.
Get on!
Wow. I'll watch the video later. They dry mopping this.
So let's talk about wildfire mitigation and just look right here in front of my door and see what I see. I got a whole whack of brush in here, branches touching the ground. This leads into a bunch of other trees that if you look here closely you can see aren't limbed up at all right close to houses up on the crescent there. So the access to the crescent, where it has all kinds of buildings, has a nice gateway there if fire can get across here anyhow and into that stuff. Now this gets a lot brushier than it looks like right now, of course, because we still have snow here. All those trees up on that side of the crescent as well, pretty much a lot of these trees in this flank of the crescent. So that's the direction that I would expect to see a fire climbing up and putting risk at that place, or from the bottom over here up, which is a lot more willow and alder, a little bit more resistant. So that, you know, what happens is one house catches on fire and the heat of that becomes a lot to contain. It can be the reason why a bunch of other houses catch on fire as well. So there's properties that have risks here. I know they've been identified at the community level. But I mean, there's more than that to say about the situation here right now. Here's the baseball field, and as you can see, we're about to lose our snow early-ish. Debatable, you know, early-ish, not necessarily early. About to lose all our snow over here, so the growing season is going to commence fairly soon. We got warming conditions coming into the BC interior, and it's more or less going to be that way to stay. We're going to see fewer nights below zero here soon in Wells. So another thing I want to talk about the baseball diamond is back in 2018 I engaged in a fire smarting project working for the district. So there's some good work I did over there. I'll zoom in and see if you can see, because I don't really want to walk through the snow too much, but all the trees are limbed up all the way across the ball diamond. So that work still stands. Those trees continue to grow, and that limbing is getting those limbs are getting higher and higher as they grow. So that just needs to be maintained. Now what's happened here along this flank of the ball diamond is these were all babies when I did this. So they need a zip up off the bottom just to try to prevent sparks coming in and setting one off somehow or another. This old machine is not being loved, so it needs to be put to better use as well. That's a tanker machine. It can be used. I mean, even if it's sort of out of date, it can be used for things. So let's get that truck fixed up, and maybe it's not your frontline truck you use for everyday fighting, but it has its uses. So you see here some of these trees I limbed. Just maybe their branches are getting a little, new branches are starting to reach down a little bit, so they could be limbed up. But that kind of work needs to be done everywhere. I'm not just here to criticize Wells. I'm trying to give you an idea of like how you just sort of walk through your community and assess fuel problems, and also the fact that you know, if we're drying out here fast, if we don't you know, we're already got lots of dry facing slopes already, and the snowpack is about to break anywhere that's not on the what will be the north facing slope. So the north aspects will keep their snow for a while to come still yet, but with the warming weather, going to be sort of unseasonably warm possibly. How much, and it's going to stay that way, how much longer will that snow start staying, right? So when that snow melts off, well, that's a whole fuel break from the direction in which our fire comes to us from, that will effectively begin its drying process. So there are different stages of drying process, so different time periods of risk, and of course that risk is exceedingly low right now. But for our preparation purposes here, we need to think about when that risk begins and when it reaches its peak, its crescendo, and what we need to do to be ready for it at that time. But yeah, lots of times still in May, you can't walk into this big gravel lot here, right? So that drying process, I mean, there's only gravel and stuff here. It's a pretty effective fire break, but and the heat from the rocks that can be generated are probably part of what helps the snow here melt a little faster as well. But nonetheless, right, so this just gives you clues to what's going on out there in the cut blocks. So when I was talking in that video about, you know, if you look at those cut blocks, well, that's supposed to be fire breaks. Well, you know, those are fuel zones too. It's just it's lesser fuel. So if that drying process begins faster because the snow's melted there quicker than it has up in the trees, in the thick forest here, the thick vegetation. So that's why I'm just trying to say, like, just like log everything isn't necessarily a totally win all solution. Of course, it's part of what has to be done, but it's like effective application, you know, effective application of your different tools that you have available to you is kind of more what I'm talking about. Like, so when are we like just cutting too much, but that's basically like actually leading to drier fuel conditions, or making the fuels dry out faster, so longer periods of dry fuel conditions. So the forest does a lot of good things for us. You know, if we garden it, if we were to log more, specifically like selectively, I think that would have better effect actually on forest health and growth. And you're gonna have to spend time in your communities going around to all these flanking areas and doing some of that, and fire smarting them, in terms of limbing the trees up more and more and more. Get them forests even all around town trimmed up, you know, get in there and look at your fuel situation. And right there, right at the edge of town, a crawling little ground fire is up in the trees. And once you have candling trees, once it's climbed up there, you could be sending sparks and shards and embers, not one or two or three, but many, into the community, which now introduces spot fires all over the place. Well, it's like this up this whole east aspect of the mountain here. I know it's a lot of work, but garden the thing, right? Get some selective logging in there and limb up the branches. Get it park-like. Get it park-like. The animals will appreciate it. They'll be able to move more easily through there. You know, especially the ungulates. So I remember another time, I mean, there's been other years where it was dry like this already. But if you recall, I had a video I made there in 2023 where we were training on this, going up and down, up and down, up and down with our gear on. Full gear pack on, with weight and hand tool, unlike me. Some Carmana boys and I, and sort of like our fitness training we were working on that day. We did a bunch of crazy stuff that day, carrying heavy jugs around town. But that was not long before we were getting phone calls to go to Fort St. John and fight the wildfire that started. There's the one there on the Alberta border that we were working, and then while we were there, the Donnie Creek fire started, and then we could see this big fire. Was it by Athabasca or somewhere? I don't know. There was some big fire on the Alberta side that was torching off, and there was evacuations going there. Then there was Donnie Creek to our north, and then there was our fire kicking off, big smoke, and then there was another one in South Peace. So I guess the next thing I really wanted to talk about, and I thought that would be this video, but maybe I'm already running out of time. Maybe I've already made this video too long as it is. What can a community do besides mitigation? You know, what else can you do to get ready? You know, it's like there has to be more than just prepare to evacuate, you know, and I believe that's the case. There's a lot more you can do than just getting ready to run. You know, so we need to talk about some of that stuff here and give you the right impression. That I'm going to sit down at the computer here and go through a bunch of lists and talk about like communities that have stood and faced fire when they were forced to on their own for whatever reason and had success. Some communities that maybe shouldn't have, because the chances were very low and they're putting themselves in danger. That's why I think it's important to sort of have, like, whether it's your fire chief or a wildfire specialist in town who's really aware of fire behavior and you know what's possible given the conditions, because sometimes you can go and get something before it's a problem, right? And sometimes by the time wildfire service can get to you, you know, and I mean specifically too, like things are exploding all over the province. There's 300 new fires because of a lightning fueled system that went through the province, and now Wildfire is scrambling to keep up. There's big towns like, you know, Kelowna's in danger of burning right the hell down, but so is Scotch Creek. And well, where do you put the resources? But the fire danger's so high, we can't put people in the way of it. You know, every one of these little details that come about. Well, if your town doesn't have any preparation to fight, to hold the line, to be ready, to organize, to train their fire departments, and I have other ideas I want to talk about too that are really practical. Actually, I want to go over here because there's no snow to get on the road. Like starting, having your wildfire specialist or whatever start a type 3 asset that can be, you know, contracted out to the ministry, so that you're not just a bunch of yahoos, but you're people who are on call. You know, whether or not you're a serious crew that's trying to get work, or you're just trying to be available or ready for your own town's purposes. You know, these are great examples. And if you can up that to a type 2 crew someday, and hey, if wildfire service is paying your town to fight fire, like, yeah, sure, it makes jobs, but also that money, the profit can go back into the town, or back to the fire departments, or back to your mitigation programs or whatever, right? So, I mean, practical ideas I want to talk about in this upcoming video. I think I've run out of time on this one today already. But look at this. 2018, early summer, I was doing this. You can still walk through here, and it's really lovely. It's enjoyable. It kind of raises the value aesthetically of your park, and you know, putting more trails in. Trails are little fire breaks, even like hiking trails. They allow access for firefighters when they get here. Like, well, how do we get up there? Well, we have a series of trails in place, actually. Also, the compact nature of the ground on trails tends to stop ground fires. So there's more you can do besides mitigation. I have a lot of ideas in the topic, so I think we got to keep talking about this for a little while here today and get to the hard story. There has to be more we can do than just A, cut a bunch of fuel, and then B, run. Especially because if you're not ready and willing and able to fight or put up sprinklers and do some of the other things, your fire smarting won't be near as effective. It doesn't have a chance. Hey, Kenny, what's this? Look what I got. Yeah, you want this? Okay. Oh, he's so happy. So hit like, share, and subscribe and all that, blah, blah, blah. Support the channel. I really need the help. I appreciate it. You know, tell a friend. And yeah, hoses left out in the winter. They've been sitting there all winter. How effective are those hoses going to be now for any kind of a usage? So if you're going to leave your truck out for the winter, fine. Get that stuff off of it, right? Now you've like really compromised the strength of those hoses by just leaving them to be in the weather. You know, so much to say on this topic. It's a big one, and I know a lot of it's fueled on the fact that I don't feel like I've been listened to around here. Maybe if I can't make a big difference here, at least try to get into your community's mind. Maybe some of you have a lot of sway in the community, or you're willing to do the organizational work. I'm sure larger cities like Quesnel, like you've got a wildfire base there. You know, like I'm not talking to you so much. Maybe I am to some of the people who organize in town, but you know, just talking especially to remote places that stand to have to maybe make a stand, especially when everything goes sideways at some point in the summer. Okay, back for part 3. We'll see you soon.